So Rust Console is coming up to its 3-year anniversary in May, and this video is not going to be your typical, oh, let's play Rust Console, let's look at what the updates have got in store for us for this coming wipe or the next wipe. I don't really have any news to talk about, but what I do want to talk about is the state the game's in. Now, before you go off and say this is going to be a negative video, no, I'm going to be looking at the positives and the negatives if this game is going to be even alive within the next 2 years or so. So when it comes to opinions that I have surrounding this game, I don't think all of them are right. Opinions aren't factually right. There are your own opinions from your own perspective and experience that you've had within the game. And I think mine are somewhat reasonable and credible due to the fact that I've pretty much done everything there is to do within Rust Console. I played it since beta, I created a team, I took that team, we created content, we became the biggest team literally on the game at one point. I created content for the team. There is yet to be another team that would create content on YouTube like we did. There's literally been no team or anyone that's done that. And now I create content surrounding the game and the updates. I've pretty much gone through all the ranks of content creation when it comes to Rust Console, and I do TikTok on the side as well. And quite frankly, for me at this point, I like creating videos surrounding Rust Console. I just don't play the game. I haven't enjoyed playing the game for many months now. CNQR, the team I created along with some IRL friends, that team has just disbanded. We don't play anymore. Well, obviously, most of us are adults. We've all got our lives, but we used to play this game day in, day out. It was literally a job for some of us. And I tried to tell myself that this game's not going down a dark path, that, you know, there'll be light at the end of the tunnel. And the thing is, there are people that say you're too negative around this game. And this is why I use the community tab on my YouTube. I create polls that you guys can, you know, engage with, leave your comments and vote. And a lot of you guys have the same opinions as I do. So, it feels as if I'm not in the dark with this. This just isn't my opinion. So first and foremost, let's talk about the positive when it comes to Rust Console. First off the bat, Rust Console, or Rust in general, the concept for this game is just brilliant. It's a brilliant PvP survival or multiplayer survival based game. Face Punch didn't intend for it to come to console because, one, I don't think they need to. It doesn't really bring that much revenue when it comes to Rust or Face Punch. PC does a lot of that. And two, it's too much of a hard job to port it. A lot of people say this is like the worst port of a video game. I mean, I could say it's not the best, but worst, I would probably argue against. And D11 took to the challenge of creating this game. Now, first off, when this game first came out, it was dog shit, but we just didn't really realize it. I mean, I could look back in nostalgia and think, oh, this game was great, I had so many memories. Sure, I had memories, but the game itself was absolute dog shit. It did not run great. The graphics, at the start in beta graphics were just a different class. They were great, not like what we have today. So pretty much the game within the first year or two just wasn't really that well optimized with old and new gen. And I'd say the first year or so, the community was good. The community surrounding Rust Console was decent. When you had TikTokers like Mummy X Chrissy, if you remember him, and his team, that was a really golden age of this game. And it's really weird to kind of say that the start of the game was really where the golden times were. Usually you leave like a couple years, the game gets big, and then you have the golden times. But for Rust Console, it hasn't seemed like that. Are we yet to go into the golden times, or have we passed them? That's the thing I kind of really want to figure out, and I haven't truly figured out. So the game's concept is great. The community at the start was good. The community now, I'd say, is pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. Very toxic. And you could expect that with Rust. I mean, any survival-based game, you're going to have a toxic community. PC Rust community, just 10 times more toxic than obviously consoles. But I'll come onto the community and, with the game. Having a team playing this game, this is probably one of the best games you can play with a group of friends or a team. It's so action-packed, especially whichever way you want to look at it. Very competitive, bragging rights all over the place. Who is better? This game is full of that type of stuff. So if you're into the competitive nature, you have that within you, this is a game to show it. But in nowadays times, you don't really see the competitive nature when it comes to Rust Console. So whilst I think there's a lot of positives going forward with this game, such as community servers, I'll obviously go into why community servers somewhat killed this game, but I do think that it was a new thing to the game, to the community, and I do feel as if people are trying to maximize all the changes. So they're going to have the highest modded, they're going to give starts out. I've done it myself to, because people have been used to vanilla servers for the last 2 years, and now suddenly you're being able to get given stuff. I'm sure you're going to take that 10 times less time. You're not going to have to graft for much. So it's understandable people want this type of playing style, but this playing style will die out within time, and it will go back to 3x server vanillas. If you want a 1x vanilla, what's the point in actually going on community servers? But if you want a 2x or a 3x vanilla server, or some type of modded, you know, with the staff people have on their community servers, then yeah, go on a community server. I think that's where it's going to go. People are tired of starts. They want to actually play the game. So it's kind of like a cycle where people just play the shit out of it, maximize modifications, but then suddenly they'll get bored of that and come back to, you know, the official and vanilla feel of how Rust should be. And this is where I think community servers are going to be going. And I do expect, to an extent, the community will come back to the state of just playing the game and not being as competitive, because I do feel there will be a time where this game is dead, kind of like now. The competitive side is dead. There's literally no competitive side when it comes to, in comparison with PC. All the teams you see that are quote unquote comp, cheat, and obviously a lot of you guys are, you know, not a lot of you guys on YouTube, because YouTube and TikTok, completely different community. However, on the, you know, TikTok community side of things, what I can say is they normalize playing mouse and keyboard. That is normal. And if they want to take it as that, they can take it as that. In my opinion, no, you're supposed to play it on a controller, but because of the lack of banning, people are saying mouse and keyboard is just, you know, an opinion now. You can just use it, it's a preference. But that is our quote unquote comp side, which isn't. Which leads on to the banning. And obviously I've made so many videos now talking about the banning, so I'm just going to briefly go over it. There needs to be an anti-cheat. They need to somewhat slow down Zim or Zen devices. And obviously, rightfully so, people will be like, well, if, you know, other games can't really do it, what makes you think the 11 can? Sure. You know, I respect that opinion and I understand it 100%. I just want to wait and see what the 11 will do. I'm glad I don't play this game like I used to, because of how unfair and the skill gap is. Anyone that says get better as a legit against a decent mouse and keyboard player, or someone that uses Zen to the best of their advantage, you're losing that fight 9 times out of 10, I'm sorry to say. So there's not enough being done in terms of, you know, cheating or banning cheating. So we can just, you know, breeze past that. Everyone knows it. It's pretty much common knowledge now. The game has been dying out because of that specific thing, and as well as community servers. When community servers hit, apart from the modifications that I've already spoken about, DDoSing has been a huge factor as to why community servers have not worked. And this isn't something out of the realm of, you know, other games. Other games have done, you know, had this problem. I've spoken to PC content creators. They said it's just as bad on PC. The only difference is we only have the provider G portal to try and save us and host our servers, whereas PC have a multitude and multiple choices of companies to choose when it comes to community servers. And by what I can tell you, or what I know, there is better protection that will hopefully be rolled out soon enough with community servers, because it needs to happen. I don't think it's a case of we want it, it needs to happen. People are paying for a service that just clearly isn't working. People will say within the Discord, yeah, G-Portal protection. Protection, what protection? Are we talking something that's very small, that doesn't, you know, hold or defend your server against a huge attack? Or is it something that can take the huge attacks and still keep your server online? And by the looks of things, it's the latter. They've, you know, or not the latter, they've got the weaker version of protection. So they can say protection all they like. The last month, 2-3 months, I should say, of, you know, community servers, the protection has been dog shit, and there hasn't been much of a fix until hopefully within the few months that are coming up. Updates is something I want to talk about as well when it comes to Rust Console. I don't think we get updates enough, and this is something I've seen within a lot of content recently when it comes to creating Rust Console videos. A lot of people just PvP, and I've already gone over how the content side of things, like, in my opinion, the closest we have to PC is OB in terms of style, and I love that sort of style. And then there's just a lot of other people that have like their PlayStation mic and they edit within, let's say, the PlayStation factory software. Like the content, you know, Rust Console content creators make is just nowhere near PC, given obviously PC have a lot more range in making better content with cinematics. I get it, people do their best and I respect that. I just think we're levels behind in terms of how good content can be. And this brings me to my next point when it comes to content creators. You know, I wanted to make this into not only a hobby, which it already is for me, but I wanted to make it into a career. I wanted to live off making videos for you guys, and especially when doing the team content. And that didn't necessarily work for one reason or another. There's only literally 2 or 3 people I can see that will make a living, 2 of them being Obi and McLovin Caleb. And they're pretty much on the steady same stream of viewership like they've always had. Some views dipping here and there, some views going higher. But it seems as if like if you came in at the right time, or people just liked you for who you were as a content creator, the ship has somewhat sailed. I do see a lot of other players that are coming in within the content scene and getting quite a lot of views, to be fair to them, but nothing like the 2 people we probably look at when it comes to content creation for Rust Console. It just seems like there's a huge gap and there's not a middle. I mean, there's only one person I know that really streams this game, and that's Bloody, or LE Bloody. It just seems there's such a disconnect with content creators. But that's just how I see it. I could be, you know, my view on it could be totally different to yours or totally wrong. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was skins. Serial Overdrive mentioned in his video that this would be the year of skins, and gosh was he right. I don't know if he had some inside information or that was just a guess, but yes, he was right. The amount of skins I've been given by Rust Console Skin on TikTok is just insane. Or they are going out on skins. My only thought is, why couldn't these skins have come sooner? You know, these are the type of skins we wanted to see first off the bat, because some of the skins at the start of the game were really bad, I'm not going to lie to you, and we were paying our hard-earned money from work on these skins. We wanted to look good, and some of these skins just weren't. But these newer skins, they're going like right out the box. Some of them I'll put on screen. You know, it looks like it's from Valorant or Apex. The M301 carbine from Apex, that skin on the AK looks pretty much identical to the one in Apex on the carbine. It's insane. Now, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because we like good looking skins, but then it kind of drifts away from just skins and just makes it look like a joke. And I don't know whether, you know, those sort of skins are going into the realm of it kind of looks like a joke. People might like them, people may dislike, but it looks as if they're doubling down on the skins. Of course, it's pretty much the first, or at the forefront of a revenue stream. People are saying they should add a season pass. You know what, I somewhat agree. It'd be nice to have little updates and little add-ons if you do purchase the season pass, but it looks as if they are going hard on the skins, because whether they need the money, because obviously it's a business at the end of the day, they need that money from the skins, or they are happy to take the money because obviously again it's a business, but they want to supply us with more skins and have a better looking game overall. But the gameplay you're seeing in the background from how a team dominates the server white progression on the CNQR channel, that's when I loved Rust. That was peak Rust for me. How you used the AK, how the holo looked, how everything looked, in my opinion, that was brilliant. That's when I had the best memories. And obviously, yeah, I'm different from you and everyone else, but for me that was the best looking Rust. That's the most fun I've had, and just the last half a year or so, it has just completely died. My motivation to even play the game, touch the game, has died. It seems as if I've like completed it in a way where I've done online raids. I've built, along with my friends, the best team at one point on the game, and we showed that through our videos, not just PvPing, but you know how we worked and the chemistry. And we've built pretty much, I would like to say, lifelong friendships. But how do you guys think in terms of the state of Rust Console? Do you think it's better than it was a year ago? Do you think it's worse than it was a year ago? What could they do to improve? I always have polls on my YouTube, so you can voice your opinions on these matters, as it's something I'd like to bring to Pedro in due time. But yeah, hopefully this wasn't a seemingly rant. I'm not saying the game's bad, because it's just my view at the end of the day. I don't like how it is to how it was, let's say, a year ago. I think it's gotten a lot worse, but that's just me. I could be completely wrong. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you for all the support. I'll also be admin on the server that I run, which is CNQR Warfare ZERGS 3x. Be sure to join that up if you would like to have some fun. As always, people, I'll see you in the next one.